Hello and welcome to my channel, On The Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And I hope you have had a wonderful crafty week. Let's see what's been on the hook. Well, first of all, I want to tell you in this video, I'll be introducing a new pattern and it will be released today at the end of the day or close to the end of the day. This is October 12th, 2020. Just wanted to let you know that. The email will go out to the community, and if you're not in the community, be sure to join up. It's down in the description box. There's a link, and you can join the On The Hook community and be a part of what we're doing here. So you will get notice of new patterns, and if all goes well, I'll have a new pattern to send out to the community on Friday. So this is just in time for Christmas gift crocheting. We want to be sure that we get those things done and not be on Christmas Eve trying to finish crocheting something for someone. It's just better to get it done early, and so I'm releasing a pattern at the end of the week that will be appropriate for Christmas gifts. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, today I will have some whips that I want to talk about, and also a small haul that I want to talk about. Also, a pattern that someone else has produced that I really like, and I'm getting ready to start. And I'll show you the yarn that I've selected for it and who wrote the pattern as well. Also, there's a video out for that by this person, so it's very, very easy to do. We also have our crochet surprise giveaway today. So all of you who have signed up for that, you will be in the running for the giveaway at the end of this video. And next week we'll be giving something away as well, so stay tuned for that. Today I'm introducing my new CardiVest. So this is the pattern. It's called the CardiVest. I really like it. It's easy to make, and it's made all in one piece. Y'all will be so surprised. We've made this all in one piece so that it's extremely easy to make and easy to make for someone else. All you need are two measurements, and then you can whip one of these up for someone without any problem at all. And as I said last week, this is a vest made from the Caron Latte cakes. I purchased 3 cakes in the Pretty Plum color, and I made a vest from this. I only needed 2 cakes to make it. If you make a CardiVest with a lot more width to it or length, then you'll probably need to dive into this 3rd cake. But I managed to get by. This is how much I had left. Not very much. That's about all I had left. Maybe 20 yards, maybe. And I was very pleased. I didn't have to play yarn chicken with that particular cake, but it took me 2 cakes to make it. Now you can get this on sale sometimes at Michael's. You can use a coupon. They normally sell for about $9.99, and even on Amazon they're the same price. Not sponsored. So let me show you my vest. I made it with a K hook. And of course I had 2 other hooks that I was using back and forth to adjust the border of the cardigan and also the sleeve bands. I used a smaller hook for that, but generally for the body I used a K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook. So that's what I used to make this particular CardiVest. Now let me stand up and show it to you. This is the front of the vest. Well, I need to button that. Actually, and that's a good place to show you, I put borders on the vest here and on this side as well. And then I show you in the pattern how to make a buttonhole. Now this buttonhole basically disappears when I'm not using a button. But I thought it would be best to put a buttonhole in this border. This is an easy pattern to make with the buttonholes, and so I put 2 buttons on my cardigan. You can start way up here and button it all the way down. However you decide, that is totally optional in the pattern. But let me show you how it fits. This is a 1-piece cardigan, and I made it with the Latte cake, so it is not color corrected. I let the Latte cake just flow all the way across. Now this is a side-to-side vest, so you start at one side and you crochet across. So it's very easy to adjust the size even before you get to the halfway point. That's when you decide how wide you want the vest to be. I did not put sleeves in this. It's a CardiVest, so as wide as your cardigan is, that is where your sleeve falls. And then I added a border at the bottom of the sleeve cap on the sleeves, and that way it will cling a little bit closer to your arm instead of flipping out, which is how it would be. If it was like this, it would be straight out and your arm would be here, it would be flipping out. So I decreased some here, and of course that's all on the pattern, but I show you how to do the sleeve borders to make them come around and fit your arm much better, if you can see that. I'm wearing a fairly tight little t-shirt under here so you can see how the sleeves fit. I opened up the armhole at 9 inches, so the measurement from armhole around and to the other side of the armhole was 18 inches. Yours will be different. Your armhole will be different. You decide, after you try it on, you decide how big the armhole is, and that is how big your armhole will be. I don't tell you how big to make your vest or how large an armhole to put in your vest, but I do give you the directions on how to make it, and it is not a difficult make at all. I will say that right up front. This is one of the easier patterns that I have actually put out on my Etsy shop, so be sure to check on it, see if you like it. If you are in the community, which I hope you will be, you will receive an email this afternoon, and that email will have a substantial discount that you can use on this pattern or any pattern in my Etsy shop. So make good use of that discount, especially now here at Christmas time. You can make gifts with some of the patterns that I have out there. Fairly easy patterns to make, scarves, and there's a hat pattern out there. This vest is a wonderful pattern to make, and the yarn is so soft. I'm just amazed at how soft it is, and when people rub their hand across it, they'll be so excited to get this for a gift. And there are lots of pretty colors out there too that you can use, so be sure to check it out. It's my CardiVest pattern out on Etsy, and I'll put a link to that pattern in the description box. Now today I want to show you another sweater that I'm making. This is a new work in progress. It is a cardigan. As y'all wanted, everybody wanted cardigans, so I did a CardiVest, which I just talked about, and I'm doing a cardi long sleeve sweater, and it's made a little bit differently from most sweaters because they have sleeves set in. This has the sleeves built in, so it's a cardigan with the sleeves built into the front and back fabric. So this should be very easy to make. I haven't had any problems with this. Now, I did make it from Hygge Red Heart yarn, and that's this yarn right here. It is very often compared to the Caron latte cake that I just talked about, and I had one ball of this in my stash, and I felt of it and I thought, you know what, I should try to make that into a cardigan. And because it doesn't stretch like the Caron latte cake yarn, if you'll notice, if you take your fingers like this and then you stretch, there's hardly any stretch in this particular yarn. The latte cake is totally different. It stretches quite a bit. And the reason is that the latte cake has 58% acrylic and 42% nylon. That's a lot of nylon. That's almost half nylon. So nylon is stretchy. They make socks out of wool and nylon, and that's the reason, because they give you that stretch that you need to be comfortable in the sock. So this is the same principle with the Caron latte cake. It's hard to make a structured article with it, and I had a subscriber tell me that, and I totally believe that. It took me 3 tries to get this vest the right size, but once you get the right size, and I tell you in the pattern how to adjust for the stretch in the yarn, so you'll be able to know, how long to make your beginning chain. Then the Hygge yarn, which I'm kind of comparing this to, is sort of a little bit of a yarn review, but the Hygge yarn is 70% acrylic and 30% nylon, so it doesn't stretch as much as the latte cake. They're both equally as soft, very, very soft, but this is actually a heavier yarn. It has more acrylic in it because it's 70-30 and it's not stretchy. So those are the differences in these two yarns, the Caron latte cake and the Hygge Red Heart yarn. And I'm making a garment from both of these, so I understand the difference in the two yarns. I really love them both, though they are so soft. Now this is from the Hygge yarn. This is a new sweater pattern that I'm making with the sleeves built in. It's a cardigan pattern. It's got a different stitch on it. It's not a double crochet, and I just wanted to show you that. It gives it a lot more interest, and some ridges on here that give it a little more interest as well, instead of just being plain. So this is a new, will be a new pattern This is the cardigan pattern made with Hygge yarn. And of course, you can make it with any size 5 bulky yarn that you want. And I will let you know how many yards it took me to make it. Now, I ordered 12 balls of Hygge yarn because you have to order all in the same dye lot. And I was always very concerned when I'm creating a new garment that I won't have enough yarn to finish it. And I want to tell y'all how many yards it takes to finish the particular garment. So I bought 12 of these balls, and I may have some left over. I don't know. I might share when the time comes. I don't know. It depends on how many it takes me to make that with. But I wanted to show you this new work in progress. I really love it. It's also made with a very large crochet hook. It's the MN hook, which is a 9mm hook. Let me get that up there where you can see. Let me get a little closer so you can see it. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, and I'm not bragging on my pattern. I just mean that the yarn is so gorgeous, and it has a huge halo just like the Caron Latte cake, but it's not quite as stiff. I didn't find it to be as stiff or quite as long as the Caron Latte cake. So this is a little bit of a review, I guess, between the two yarns. And when I finish working on this, then I'll have a really good idea of the two yarns and where they might be best suited. Now, I do have a pattern for the curly cow, which was awesome. I love that pattern. It is so pretty. And I made it from a color very similar to this, only it was more gray. And I did that, and then I made the hat to match it, and the hat became too big. And I thought, well, maybe I had made the hat incorrectly, but the hat was a little bit loose, and I kept wondering why that was. Well, it's because the yarn stretches. Well, when you make a cow, of course, you don't notice how it stretches too much because, you know, you just wrap it around your head and you might notice a little difference, but it doesn't have to fit your head like a hat. So if you're making that curly hat, which I called it on my Etsy shop, if you're making that, you might want to make it a little bit smaller, and so when you put it on, it'll stretch to fit your head. Another whip that I have been working on that I had laid down for a little bit was this. I bought this yarn at the Destin Yarn Shop. This is the Plymouth Select DK Merino Superwash, and it's in 2 colors. I'm combining these 2 colors in the pattern, and this is the light gray that I bought. That's real pretty. And then I also bought the wine color. This is wine and light gray in the Plymouth Select DK Merino yarn, and it's wonderful to work with. It's very beautiful, and I don't think it was cheap. I think I paid quite a bit for it, but I wanted to buy something from Caron in the Destin Yarn Shop, and I was looking for particular colors. So I was wanting blue and light blue, and she didn't have that. So I decided to go ahead and get these 2 colors that look very nice together. And if you're an Alabama fan, you'll be happy to see this. This is not the reason I made it, but I do have a lot of friends that are Alabama fans. They'll be glad to see these colors. But these are the 2 colors of the Alabama team, and this is how they look together. I really like it. It's a beautiful yarn. The stitch definition is very, very nice compared to that Hygge yarn that I just showed you. That there's no stitch definition there at all. And in fact, if you make a mistake, it doesn't show up. But something like this, you have to be careful that you don't make a lot of mistakes on your rows. So that's what it looks like. I'll just show that to you real quick. Very, very nice, beautiful yarn. I really like it. And I'm planning to make a V-neck short sleeve top, and it's not going to have a lot of ease in it. It'll have some ease, and it will be designed, this is wool, by the way, so it's designed to wear under a jacket. And my first thought was to wear it under a blue jean jacket, just real casual, nothing real fancy, just an everyday shirt out of wool that will be nice and warm, but it won't be too hot, and I can wear it under a black cardigan or a black blazer or a blue jean jacket, something like that. Now I have somewhat of a haul that I wanted to tell y'all about, the things that came in the mail last week. I was so excited to see these. Now this is the Labribus Light Alpaca, which is in Dogwood Berry. I have this in another color, but I really wanted the red. This is a blue-red, very beautiful alpaca yarn, and it's a fingering weight. I'm that's 400 yards on the hank. And it, like I said, it's fingering weight, so I think I'm going to pair this with another yarn. And I ordered this from Knit Crate in a box. And this is one of the boxes they had left over, and they call this an extra large box. So they send 3 hanks of yarn, and they also send the Inspirations book with it for that particular month. This was sent out in March of 2020. And of course I have the box, but it was a different color yarn and I only had 2 hanks of it. So they sent this to me. But anyway, this is the yarn that I bought from Knit Crate, not sponsored of course. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair that with some mohair that I bought in black. So I'm going to see how this looks, and maybe by next week I'll have maybe even a swatch to show you what that looks like paired together. But I thought the black would be pretty just mixed in with the red, and I don't think I have enough for a good size sweater out of the red. I know 1,200 yards sounds like a lot, but when you're working with fingering weight it doesn't go that far. And if I stretched it with the wool that this is an Ice Yarns wool that I bought last year. It's just a mohair, that's all it is. It's just a mohair. And on each, I think on this particular ball, there are 350 meters. So I think 4 balls of this. I have about 6 balls, so I'm sure I'll be fine with this. So I wanted to show you that. You can go on Knit Crate, not sponsored. You can go on Knit Crate, and they have some boxes left over that they didn't sell in a certain month, and this was one of them. And I love this color. I should have ordered it to begin with, but I think I forgot to go out and change the color, and I got a different color. So I think it was green or something, but I wanted the red because I love red in the wintertime. Just love it. So I can wear this under the black blazer and be beautiful too as well. So I'm going to work on that a little bit this week. I'll make a swatch and we'll take a look at what the black mohair looks like with the red color. Another box of yarn I received this week in the mail was this beautiful blue, and this is called Utopia. That's the color of this. This is Audine Wool's sleek yarn that came in the mail as my monthly subscription box from Knit Crate. And there were 2 hanks of this. This is a worsted weight, beautiful yarn. I really like it. It is 55% fine merino wool, 30% baby alpaca, and 15% mulberry silk, which is a real softening agent for a yarn. When we squeeze it, it's very, very soft. It is not as soft as this Hygge yarn. It's not as soft as that, but it's also made from wool, and Hygge yarn is not wool. So to stay warm, this might be a little bit better in the wintertime, I don't know. But I like it because I had 2 hanks that came in the monthly subscription box. And so I turned around and I ordered 2 more hanks. So I have a sweater quantity of this particular yarn. And let me show you how it crochets up. This is a little bit more than a swatch. It's just an experiment, but I'm looking to try to find some different stitches that I like to make that are easy to do. Now there are 3 rows of double crochet here, and then 1 row at the top, which is the herringbone stitch. And if you don't know what that is, there are 1,000 YouTubes out there that show you how to do it. I've decided to make my sweater partly out of herringbone stitch, which is the Hygge yarn. The sweater I'm making out of that. I'm using a herringbone stitch for that, and I will show you how to do that in a future video. Whenever I release the sweater, I will explain how to make the herringbone stitch, so that if you decide you like the sweater, then you can order it. You'll know how to make the herringbone stitch. But there are other instructions in the pattern that'll tell you how to make the herringbone stitch. I just wanted to show you this and the red, which are kind of extra yarns that I've ordered to be in a sweater quantity, so that when I decide to make a sweater, I will have some beautiful yarn to do it with. Now I have a shout out to Setta's Place, Setta at Setta's Place. Setta Laws is her name. I love Setta. I've been watching her since she started her channel, and Every now and then I'll comment on her videos. They're so good and so easy and so relaxed. I really like to watch her. And every now and then she'll throw out a new pattern. And I saw this and I thought, I'd like to make that. This is Hug and a Shawl. This is her pattern, Setta Law's pattern. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? It's a shawl that is shaped, and if you'll notice at the bottom, there's a triangle shape here of a different yarn, and that really gives the shawl a lot of class. I really like the way she did that. I also like her shawl pin there. I think it's leather, probably is. But anyway, I saw this on her channel and I thought, I'm going to buy that. So I went to her website. It's $4.50. That's a very reasonable price. And she has some photos in here that show you how it looks in different types of yarn. And you can make it in a different type of yarn if you'd like. This is made with a size 3 DK, but you can also make it in a bulky. And inside she tells you how many yards you need and all that. But I found this in my stash, and I think I'm going to use this for the main part of the shawl. And this is called Basic Stitch. It's by Lion Brand. It's non-pilling. I thought that was kind of interesting, so I thought I would buy it. It's 100% acrylic, and this is called Black White. Okay, that's obvious. It's called Black White. That's the color of this particular yarn. I really like it. I really do like it. But I haven't had anything to make with it. I bought, I think, 4 balls of it, and I thought, you know, I don't know what I'm going to make out of that. So I just put it in my stash. And then I bought a larger ball of the black. It's called Basic Stitch. Excuse me, I never even said that. It's called Basic Stitch by Lion Brand. Basic Stitch. And I have some of the black as well. This is more of a novel yarn, this black and white, so the ball is smaller than the solid color. But I bought a couple of these and 4 or 5 of these. I don't know, I'll have to look and see, but I'm sure I have enough to make Setta's shawl. So I'm going to start on that. I don't know how far I'll get this week, but I'm going to make that. I thought that was so pretty. Setta, very nice job on your beautiful shawl pattern. And I've read through the pattern. It looks very easy to do. And there's a tutorial, and the link is in the pattern, so you can click right onto that or type it in. And actually, when you download the pattern, you can click that link and watch the tutorial. I did that myself. And if you print this off, which I always print my patterns, the link is there and you just type it in if you want to look at it. So the tutorial is very good. I watched most of it, and I'm sure that will help me a lot when I go to make this shawl pattern. So it's Hug and a Shawl by Setta Laws on Setta's Place. And I'll put a link to her video in the description box where she talks about this. It's not a tutorial, but she talks about this Hug and a Shawl pattern, which I really like. Today is the day we give away the Crochet Surprise Box for the wall hangings. Crochet Surprise, they do sponsor this particular giveaway. I do lots of my own, but they sponsor this one, and I appreciate them so much. They want y'all to see what comes in a monthly subscription box, so I get to show it and give it away to my subscribers, one of my subscribers, actually. So this is the wall hanging that is in this particular box, and it came this month, and it's made with sugar and cream yarn. There's plenty of yarn in the box. There's a huge spool that looks like this. It's a huge spool and an extra skein as well, along with the wooden dowel that you hang the wall hanging from. So you don't have to buy anything. All you have to do is have a crochet hook. And also this comes with the Cascade Breakfast tea, that they always put tea in their boxes. It's always well thought of, a very nice box, well worth the money for a monthly subscription. So I have a link down in the description box where you can check it out. I also have a small discount that you get on your first box, and the directions are down in the description box for that. So be sure to check it out. Now let's turn the camera to the computer and find out who wins the Crochet Surprise Box for this week. Here we are at the computer. I have put the URL for this particular video from Monday, last Monday. The keyword was the word wall, W-A-L-L, and I thought most everybody did that. It seems like all the comments I saw had that word in them like I asked you to. And there were 249 comments that had the word wall in them. So let's go over here and find out who wins the Crochet Surprise monthly box for this month. the country wall hanging, and that would be Susan B. Susan B says, it would be nice to try something new. The wall hanging looks neat and seems to be very popular these days. So Susan B, you have won the crochet surprise box for this week. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks to everyone for participating. The giveaway for this week is the crochet magazine. I have 3 of these. I'm going to keep one, and I'll be giving one away this week and probably next week. So this is the crochet magazine that I'm giving away. It is the winter 2020 issue of Defining Crochet magazine, and I love this on the back. I said this last week. I really like this baby's sweater and hat to go with it. Isn't that cute? I just really like that. I really like the colors too. Gray and yellow are 2 of my favorites to put together. And actually there is a latte cake with gray and yellow that I might have to pick up at some point. Now, these are all the patterns that are in this magazine. There are lots of Christmas things here, ornaments and baby things, and also there are some cardigans here, and a headband over here, a cowl, 2 blankets, 2 Afghans down here, beautiful Afghans. So in this book there are 18 crochet patterns, and it's a really good value. I'm not sponsored by these folks, but I do love crochet magazines. They're my very favorite thing to get in the mail besides my monthly subscriptions of yarn. So this is one of my favorites. This is a very nicely done magazine with the graphics are awesome in here. The patterns are very clear. So I found these patterns to be very, very clear and easy to make. So you might want to pick one up. If you want to wait and see if you win this next Monday, you can do that. But I will give this away to someone who comments on this particular video, and the word should be holiday, H-O-L-I-D-A-Y. These are the holiday patterns for Crochet Magazine. So be sure to put that in your comment, the word holiday, and you'll be in the running to win this Crochet Magazine next Monday. Well, I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Also join the On The Hook community, which is a link down in the description box, and you will receive free patterns when I send those out. Also first notices of patterns that go out into my Etsy shop, and substantial discount to go with those as well. You can use those on any pattern in my shop as long as the offer code is valid. You can use those on any pattern that you'd like. So I want to wish you a wonderful week. I hope I see you at the end of this week, but if I don't, then I will see you Monday. And join me then to find out what's on the hook.